6 months from early retirement, my wife and I just did something that sounds completely insane for a channel about retiring early. We stopped saving on purpose. We hit pause on the deposits we'd been making every couple of weeks, and instead we're about to spend a chunk of money on a trip. And yet, look at this number, still over $1 million and still climbing. I'm Anthony, and today I'm going to show you with our real numbers why hitting pause was one of the smartest money moves we've made, not the dumbest. Real Numbers Retirement, Episode 3, Why We Paused the Plan on Purpose. So here's the decision. This December, we're taking a bucket list cruise across Southeast Asia, not after we retire, not someday on a fixed income. Now, while we're both still working, both healthy, and still have 2 paychecks coming in. For years, every spare dollar went into the plan, and somewhere along the way, we realized we'd gotten so good at saving for later that we'd almost forgotten to actually live now. This trip is us fixing that with our eyes wide open. Now here's the part I'll keep updating for you, and this time it comes with a real-life plot twist. Since April, we've deliberately stacked $23,000 of new principal into our VUSXX Treasury fund. Together with a one-time transfer we made from our savings into a Treasury ETF at Merrill, that makes up our roughly $120,000 cash and Treasury bridge. But we're about to hit pause on those deposits on purpose. We chose a bucket list trip now, while we're both working, healthy, and young enough to really enjoy it, instead of someday on a fixed income. So for a little while, this number holds steady while we go actually live a little. Then we get right back to stacking. Because early retirement was never about worshiping a number, it's about buying our time back, and sometimes that means spending some of it now. Now the obvious question, isn't pausing your savings right before you retire reckless? It would be if the plan needed those deposits to work, but it doesn't. Before we paused a single dollar, the dashboard already returned this verdict. Fully funded, 6% growth, 3% inflation baked in, taxes included, and the money still lasts past age 96. We're not skipping savings we need. We're spending a slice of a surplus we already built. And here's the specific reason we can afford to pause. The bridge, the pot of cash and treasuries that carries us until our retirement accounts unlock at 59 and a half, is already funded, about $121,000 today. And because our income covers the early years, the model shows it climbing to around $159,000 by the time those accounts open, even with the deposits switched off. The money we're pausing was us getting ahead, not us catching up. Pausing, it doesn't break the crossing. It just slows how fast the safety net grows for a few months. This is what makes it safe instead of scary. We are not selling investments to pay for this trip, and we are not going into debt for it. My VA disability check, $2,277 a month, tax-free, plus our paychecks, already covers our bills with room to spare. The trip gets paid out of the same monthly surplus that used to feed the deposits, same money. We're just pointing it at a memory for a few months instead of a treasury fund. And about that number still climbing. Over the last 4 months, our invested accounts are up more than $117,000, almost 19% as the market clawed back from the tariff and recession scare earlier this year, and the AI trade caught fire again. I'll be honest, that's a paper gain, and it can reverse just as fast. We watched it drop hard not long ago. That's exactly why our plan never depends on the market cooperating, but it does make one thing clear. Stepping away to live a little didn't cost us the growth. Here's the thing early retirement taught us that a spreadsheet never will. The whole point of buying back your time is to actually use it. The average guy gets maybe a decade of healthy, active years after he stops working, and none of us are promised even that. A number on a screen doesn't get to the top of a mountain or onto the deck of a ship at sunset. You do while your knees still work. So we made ourselves a rule. We save hard, relentlessly, and then on purpose we stop and we live. Memories over money every time the two actually compete. And this isn't us falling off the wagon. The plan doesn't change. It just breathes. The moment the trip is paid for in full, the deposits switch right back on and the stacking resumes. And because we still spend less than we earn, the long-term picture never changes. The portfolio keeps climbing and never runs out past 70, past 80, past 96. A few months of pause doesn't even leave a dent. That's the freedom a fully funded plan actually buys you. the freedom to take your foot off the gas and enjoy the drive. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research. So that's the plot twist in our early retirement story. We stopped saving on purpose to go live while we still can. Tell me in the comments, would you pause the plan for the trip or keep your foot on the gas until the finish line? Subscribe and follow along as we count down to retirement day and to a very big trip. I'll see you in the next one.